Capital is a commodity, but attention is not.
Before influencers became investors, Logan Paul was doing it, and doing it loudly. He's become one of the biggest YouTubers. He's been part of some of the biggest PR disasters of the social media era, and somehow comes out the other side with a beverage company, a professional wrestling contract, and a venture fund backed by some of Silicon Valley's most coveted names. Logan is either the future of entrepreneurship, or he's a warning sign.
Jake's fund, Antifund, has invested in some of the most impressive companies in the world. Cognition, OpenAI. There is an incredible intersection between tech and culture.
Did you guys ever find anyone kind of not taking you seriously because of your path?
Look at my hair. People are afraid to fail. They're afraid to be embarrassed. They're afraid to be cringe. 2 words: exceed expectations. Exceed expectations. You will win for the rest of your life.
This is What's Uptin with Logan Paul.
Welcome to Web Summit, everyone. My name's Uptin. I'm very excited to be here with you tonight as we get to know Logan Paul a little bit more. Logan, welcome to Qatar. How's been your trip here?
Yeah, it's been good so far. Been here for about 12 hours. I am coming directly from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I wrestled in the Royal Rumble this morning. I'll say that again. This morning, we finished the match at 2:10 a.m.
Come on, guys. Give it up for him. Like,
I was top 4. I was top 4. All right? Some big guys in the Rumble, but came here, slept an hour, had some coffee and some Prime Energy. We good. I'm energized. Okay. Qatar is great. Let's go. Ask me questions.
All right, so you have done a massive pivot over the years from content into business with Prime and now investor. Talk to me about what drove you to do that. Like, why get into investing?
Yeah, so I firmly believe that an important aspect of life is the art of the pivot. I believe there's a book even called Art of the Pivot. I have a bit of occupational ADD, and I'm a generally curious person. And because my career started with content creation and influencing, it has allowed me to kind of branch out to various buckets and pursue things that interest me. At the moment, it's being a WWE superstar, but occasionally I'll have the itch to start a business. I've been successful in that. We started a hydration and beverage company called Prime, and then a Better For You lunch kit called Lunchly. We partnered with Mr. Beast, and I have been doing entrepreneurial endeavors that worked because we were able to successfully leverage the social media platform that we built. And I realized that a lot of the founders that I think are changing the world, I'd like to think anyway, have a lot in common with my brother and I. There's a founder DNA, and I think as a venture capitalist, what we keep saying is capital is a commodity, but attention is not. Attention is hard, and it's scarce. But being able to wield attention strategically, which my brother Jake and I have been able to do, seems to be a bit of an art. And we found that we have been able to provide value for companies in various ways because we've been able to not only provide capital, but as a venture capitalist then also advise or wield attention in order to benefit a company in whatever way they want, whether it's driving traffic, conversion, et cetera.
So I imagine you say no to a lot, right? I'm sure you get a ton of pitches. We're like, hey, let's just put your name on this. We'll just give you, percentage. How do you determine like what to say yes to?
Yeah, don't underestimate the power of no. Contrarily, also, don't be afraid to say yes. I say yes to a lot because I think there's a lot of wisdom that can come from experience. I think experience is the gap between knowledge and wisdom. However, I'm 30 now. My teammates who are much younger than me call me Unc. I have a daughter and a beautiful wife, and so I feel at this point I have been seasoned enough to know and understand what works for me. And I think I always say this to people, always ask. Always ask. Like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. People are afraid to fail. They're afraid to be embarrassed. They're afraid to be cringe. You're gonna fail. You're gonna get embarrassed. You're gonna be cringe. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're perfect. Good for you. I wasn't. But that's the name of the game. And man, I think saying no is something that if you're bold enough to ask, you got to be bold enough to get shut down as well.
Is there a project that you, in hindsight, wish you said no to earlier, or kind of a lesson learned as a founder?
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir. I made a little run at Hollywood. I moved to LA because I wanted to be an actor. And then I realized I suck at acting. Like just abysmal performances on the screen. And I realized I'm not good at being other people, but I'm pretty good at being myself. And so I had said yes to some projects that I think not only ultimately ended up being a waste of my time, which, you know, we'll see what happens, but sometimes you just end up wasting your time and you kind of like chalk it up, whether it's like a waste of time or a waste of money, whatever, like put it in the education expense, we call it. Like we have an education fund that like that time and money goes to. But yeah, man, it took me a little bit to find myself, but kind of what I said earlier, I did a lot. I tried to do a lot. I encourage people to do more. I have this saying, life isn't short, you just have to do more. And maybe it's partially because of those experiences that I was able to find myself at about the age of 26. And at about the age of 27, I found my calling in becoming a professional wrestler. It took me 27 years, but I truly believe I found the thing that I was born to do.
So we have obviously a lot of entrepreneurs in the audience. You're hearing from a lot of entrepreneurs now as an investor, people pitching you, I imagine, all the time. What is one thing that kind of sets apart the ones that you invest in from the noise?
Perhaps this is a bit arrogant, but generally if you're pitching us, we're probably not interested. Generally, we like to chase the companies that we think are the big ones. Occasionally, a company will come along where you'll have an absolute dog of a founder, which, to answer your question, I think that's partially what it is. There's a character type, there's an archetype of someone who understands what it takes to be successful and then is usually mission-oriented in a way that you know this person's not going to get off track. And a lot of these founders now, of some of the biggest companies in the world, they're young people, right? So like, you know, you throw a 22, 23-year-old, couple $100 million, like how do you stay on track? It's within that person, it's innate. And so like it's an investment into the person, it's an investment into the product, and a little bit of an investment into timing as well. Timing is huge part of life.
Is it like a confidence that you're looking for in them, or just like a long-term vision? Because there's a lot of founders that are actually not necessarily confident. I mean, if you look at a lot of the founders of the world's biggest tech companies, they're actually nerds, right? They probably could never come and pitch someone like you in a boardroom confidently.
Yeah, no, it's not about confidence. I don't need you to walk in there with aura. I don't care about your aura. Are you going to do what you say you're going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like that is what we look for in partners. Are you going to do what you say you're going to do? I try to do that as a partner. I pride myself on that. And before all of our relationships, any business endeavor we get into, I say, I expect you, if you say something, to do it and to get that done. Because I know if I tell you something, I'm going to get it done. So it's perhaps not a overt confidence that is like exuding and you can feel it, but a confidence in the ability to build business, sure.
Yeah. So you're a content creator, wrestler, you're running multiple businesses, and you're an investor. When Monday morning comes, how does Logan prioritize his day, his projects, his priorities?
Yeah. Monday morning is tomorrow. In about 3 hours, I'm going on a flight to Philadelphia to do priority number one, which is my job as a WWE wrestler. I have another match tomorrow. So first and foremost comes the job, the thing I committed to, right? I signed a contract. My executives are relying on me. The fans are relying on me.
And you love it. It's your passion.
I love it. And I love it. And I don't want to let the WWE down, because I know there's some people waiting for that to happen, and I can't let that happen. I can't let it happen. So that's number one. And then, like I said, because of this weird like occupational ADD thing I have, where I got to keep my mind busy. Also, I will say I've been blessed to say that I just bought a house. It's a very nice house. Way too expensive. I spent way too much money on the house. But I put my back against the wall with the purchase. And I told myself that if I bought that house for my family and my new daughter, and we were going to live there, that I was going to work my ass off. I was just going to commit to my work. I was going to go sober. And I like to work like that. I like to work under pressure like that. And now, like, I got to make that money. And so besides my job, it's like in between, I'm doing venture capitalist stuff. I'm hunting Pokemon cards. I'm creating content, and whether it be a podcast or a vlog, man, really everything. And then, you go out there, you take some bumps on the mat, get suplexed by Brock Lesnar, like, you got to diversify.
Yeah. It's interesting the way you talk about ADD. You're saying, like, I have ADD. I want to I have ADD in business. At least you want to continuously start new businesses or even go into new industries, like becoming an investor. But on the flip side of that, I've seen a lot of startups, a lot of founders who have this sort of shiny object syndrome, right? They start a venture. 6 months later, you catch up with them like, hey, how was that idea? And it's like, oh, yeah, I switched, right? So does that happen to you, where you're like, actually, no, man, you have a talk to yourself like, no, I said I was going to do this. I got to like commit to it. Or
This is a fantastic question. I try to do things that I really care about, that I love, that like instinctually, since I was a child, lights a fire in my soul. And I can feel that for some of my pursuits. My soul is on fire. I'll literally say that, bro. I become obsessive about some of these ideas. And if you target that, you shouldn't lose the flame. I don't think, right? Like, it's a shiny object, hopefully because it's been a shiny object your whole life, But once you try to build a business, ideally, if things work out, you see that business through. But sometimes businesses don't work out. That's the other thing. But like I said before, like, people are afraid to fail. Failure is it's inevitable. Like, say sorry. All of you are beautiful people, young entrepreneurs. You're all going to be great. You're going to fail at some point. It is inevitable. And if you don't, God bless you. God bless you. But don't let that dissuade you from continuing to make what you want to make. Failure will happen. Success is not guaranteed, but just keep trying and keep pushing, and don't let your inner demons or outer demons tell you otherwise.
What's something that keeps you up at night?
Pokemon cards, dude. Oh my God, it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. My wife, how do you explain to your wife you're spending 7 figures on cardboard? How do you do that? She's from Denmark, dude. She's from Denmark. Are you guys from Denmark? Just a random cheer? It's incredible, dude. It's incredible. Yeah, dude, Pokemon card. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed, like, at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, but what about worries? Any worries that keep you up at night besides the cards?
I mean, what's up with Moltbook? Like, are these agents really, like, congregating and, like, gonna figure out a way to, like, cause an uprising against humans? I don't know. Dude, bro, everything sucks. Like, dude, everything sucks. But at the same time, it's so great. It's so great. So, dude, I try to keep the stress to a minimum. Don't get caught up in the highs or the lows, right? Like, this is a big one. Good things are going to happen in your life. Sick, cool, move on. Yeah. Celebrate how you want, move on. Bad things are also going to happen in your life. Ah, man, Chalk it up, move on.
Yeah, I like that. In terms of investments, like what industries or particular companies really excite you right now, or giving you that passion?
Yeah, so I joined my brother's venture firm. It's called Antifund. Jake Paul the boxer, yes, Jake Paul the boxer, has this weird, amazing ability as both an entrepreneur and investor that it's like he has it in him. If he wasn't a boxer, social media star, he would be a venture capitalist, which he is now. But like I remember walking into his room like back in the Team 10 days. This dude was 18 years old, forming LLCs, pitching investors, pitching Gary Vee to invest in Team 10. I was like, bro, what do you do? How does this work? And he has this thing in him, and then all of a sudden, you get a little seasoned, you make content, you learn a little bit about business, and Jake's fund, Antifund, has invested in some of the most impressive companies in the world. Cognition, OpenAI, XAI, Physical Intelligence, Ramp. And I looked at his portfolio in his fund, along with our partner Jeff Wu, and I was like, yo, you guys really got something going on here, because we found there is an incredible intersection between tech and culture. And we have this ability, like I said, to help companies wield the tension in a way that I don't think a lot of other people can provide. I'll try to be humble. Look, it's so hard. It's so hard for me being this good-looking, rich, successful, and famous. But I'll try to be humble. That was my character coming out, or was it? We're good at what we do, and I have made some successful investments myself. And we decided that teaming up together would be a great way to combine forces and make 1 + 1 = 3.
Did you guys ever find anyone kind of not taking you seriously because of your past, or was it the opposite always?
No, absolutely. How could you not? Yeah. Look at my hair. I look like an idiot up here, like I'm in a suit, but like you got a context switch. Yeah, of course, dude. Like, how do you take us seriously as a boxer and professional WWE wrestler, and we come in and we're like, we want to be venture capitalists.
Does it make you mad? Does it make you feel like you have something to prove, or you're kind of like,
yeah, of course, bro, we're fighters at heart. We love to fight. It's so like if we can, pick a corporate fight and try to see who can raise, allocate, and deploy money in the best, most efficient way possible. Let's do it. But of course, it's expected. That's what people are supposed to do. But it's our job then to do our job and make the connections and invest in the right companies and provide returns for our investors.
So aside from tech and business and all these things, most kids today want to be a YouTuber or a TikTok star. Does that, do you support that when kids come up to you and say, I want to be a YouTuber? Like, do you, because I mean, you know what it's like, right? Most people don't. They see the fun stuff. They think it's a lot easier than it is. So what do you think?
Yeah, great question. It's shocking. It's shocking. The statistic is I think 40% of young people want to be YouTubers when they grow up. Do I support it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do what you want. Do what you love. Do what makes you happy. I will say, it is very hard. Although content creation now is easier than ever because of the tools available. Like, dog, I had to put a tape in a camcorder and then, as an 8-year-old, figure out how to get it on a computer. Like, bro, how does an 8-year-old know what the word upload means? I remember sitting at the computer being like, upload? What upload? It was so hard to figure out. Now just whip out an iPhone, put it on iMovie, upload it. No, screw that. Shoot natively in TikTok, brother. Shoot natively in TikTok.
Or YouTube Shorts.
Shoot YouTube Shorts. There's no excuse to make content, I will say. You gotta be good. You gotta be damn good. It is so oversaturated, and I saw this coming. When I saw the influx of videos being made and people wanting to become content creators, I knew that the level of talent was going to get so good, where people are so undeniably magnetic to watch, just charismatic beings that were built for this. Example, I Show Speed. 21 years old, biggest star on the planet, cannot look away from his streams. And that level of talent is only going to get better and better. And then it's going to become AI. We will be watching AI content creators half with real content creators, and I say that seriously, in a very short amount of time.
There's a lot of debate on that, right? Because a lot of people say, well, actually, people are drawn to people. YouTube keeps announcing they're going to demonetize or deprioritize AI and even faceless channels. So what makes you so bullish on that?
So I have like a little bit of intuition at this point where I can just, like, I can't really explain it. I can just feel it. And I've felt myself watching AI content. And I've also felt myself, and I've seen a lot of content. It is becoming harder and harder to discern which is which. So when the point comes where you can't tell who's real and who's not, and the AI influencers are everywhere, and they're really good, we're going to be in a weird place. That said, the value of the human will go up, I think.
It's almost like the value of in-person events, right? So like you being at Web Summit, you know, wrestling, things like that, where people can know and have this almost parasocial relationship with you, 100% seeing you out in the real world.
Invest and get involved in real life experiences, for sure. IRL experiences will become more and more valuable as this weird tech world that is not physical and doesn't exist in the 3D but does in the 2D becomes more and more prominent.
Final question, because we're out of time. What is your best advice to all the entrepreneurs out there?
Oh, I hate superlatives. All right.
Any advice that you wish you knew before you kind of went into business?
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a real simple one that Jeffrey Katzenberg told me that I absolutely love when I asked him this superlative. It's so easy, but if you do this, you will be successful at everything you do. 2 words, exceed expectations. Exceed expectations, you will win for the rest of your life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Logan Paul.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll be WWE champ one day. Mark my words. Mark my words.
Thanks for listening to this episode of What's Uptin, where I bring you inside the minds driving tech, money, and power. Follow along on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow my personal account on Instagram @Uptin. Would love to connect with you.